I'm Evan Plante from Worcester. My claim to fame around here is that my wife did the propeller painting. But kind of forced into the moment when they were odd one poet. And I have a history of bad acting with that. So, this is a poem that I wrote in 2007. Carol and I were walking up by the Quabbin, someplace. It wasn't quite in the Quabbin, but it was up some remote place like that. Very cold November day, rime frost around, stuff like that. And I found like a dead bird, and I found all these kind of things. And we were going through a funeral at that same time, and I just had this weird dream, and I'm not a guy that remembers dreams, but this poem called Dying Birds came out of that experience. So this is the one that I sent to Liz, and she responded with that. They're falling from the trees, those dying birds, wings to the body frozen, falling off the power lines and bouncing along the pavement like bowling pins. They stare back at me, though not blankly, though facing like lightly accusing soldiers dead in this road. Years ago I shot at birds, and now I don't. We found a feathered feast in some woods near some scat on a rock. Did the scatter eat the bird? Why are they frozen, cold in rigor? Yet they feel warm to the touch, my body heat bouncing off the shiny feathers, those dead birds lying on the pavement like pins with no alleys, no rules, no overtaking of decay. If I kick one in the ditch, they seem no less in number. As I watch the bird pile grows, their blackness covering the gray tar as new pavement. Dead birds, not pointy, first alone, now locked together in a great mat of death.
So she came up with that picture. Wow.
Okay, and now I need to hold this one for a minute. Okay, so there's this small, unless you've seen it, this is what looks to be an out of focus photograph out of the front of a car, and there's a few things that are significant about it. So when I first got it, please understand that Lisa cropped it square. And that you'll say you're going to laugh at what happened, but when I originally got it on my computer, it was kind of landscape, and you know, it was bigger and
longer.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm going like this with my eyes because you don't trust your eyes. Why is this not in focus, right? So studying it and trying to see if there was some technical reason, I think I found that the autofocus locked on a drop that was on the windshield. That's my that's. But the effect was great. But the effect was greater in landscape. So before I begin, and even Lisa doesn't notice, so this can be funny. You see the element on the bottom that's a crosswalk.
Oh.
Well, if you're doing a woodworking, something that looks like that is called a spline, and a spline has a number of fingers on it. Well, this is then a four-fingered spline. But when I wrote the poem, it was this
five
big.
fingers.
So it was a six-fingered spline.
Oh, so
And
we'll have to.
so you won't get confused about what that was. And I named, because when I first looked at the picture, I just put it on my computer going, what am I doing wrong? And I was blinking. So the poem is called Blink Back. The focal plane rain told the truth that we are belighted, delighted, privileged to see all, to be all, to cruise and to feel all. The six-fingered spline shows the world as I blink back, shrink back, soaked by tears, drowned by tomorrow, and walk like parallel drips. The missing wind blows near the streets, yet we hold back, fold back upon ourselves, forced to sit compact with voices unheard. The mind spends its time in the rain, made to taste dark, face dark. The cityscape edges are soft and sweet with shadowless forms. Thank you.